Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Shout out to my new subscribers. What up, YouTube? What's going on? What's the dealio? I guess. Shit. I just want to drop a few videos. I swear to God, these gonna be quick. I think. Yeah, they gonna be quick. They gonna be quick because I'm tired. Um, but YNW Melly, he caught a win finally. He the longest person I know that's been in the county jail. And you know the county jail worse than prison, you know? But he got some good news. Appeal court rules on blocked evidence in YNW Melly case. What did they decide? The former judge in the YNW Melly double murder case did not abuse his discretion when he threw out weeks of digital evidence obtained from a broad warrant, an appellate court ruled Wednesday. The evidence, mostly messages extracted from Melly's cell phone, email addresses, and social media accounts, will not be allowed in the rapper's retrial after the 4th District Court of Appeals ruling. In 2023, former Broward Circuit Court Judge John Murphy limited the digital evidence admitted into the retrial to the day of and allowing the murders. This temporary comported with the warrant stated purpose to locate Damon's whereabouts to link him to crime, said the 4th Appeals Court. That is great news for YNW Melly. That is. Also, the judge allowing YNW Melly to replace legal team amid Broward double murder retrial. In motion, Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, asked that Drew Finley and Kerry Howard represent him in his double murder case moving forward. A judge on the judge granted rapper his request to have a new legal team as he faces double murder retrial. They paying a lot of money. His record company, while they paying a lot of money for Drew Finley. In his motion, Melly, whose real name, asked Drew Finley and Kerry Howard to represent him. Finley and Walt will replace Raven Liberty. She did. She fought hard for him. She really did. And Stuart Allison, Daniel Arison, and two others who have represented him for years. Court documents reference a conflict of interest with Raven, who is subject of Brown Sheriff's Office investigation. Little is known publicly about the investigation, but the mere existence of it prompted Demons to change course. The motion to substitute counsel states Mr. Demon's current team may be unable to fully litigate the issue without fear of further reincrimination in the criminal case against one of the team. During his court appearance, Judge Martin Finn asked Demons if this is what he wanted. This is what you want, right? Finn said. Miss Howard and Mr. Finley to appear as your lawyers. You want all the other lawyers to be allowed to withdraw and have those two to be your lawyers going forward. That's what you want. Yes, sir, he said. Finn also cautioned Demons that he is hard pressed to keep his trial date, even if his new lawyers tell him they need more time to prepare for the case. He understood and still wanted the change in representation. So he's charged in the shooting deaths of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas. Now you know his co-defendant took a plea deal, and what did he get? 15 years? I think 15, 10 years. Henry was sentenced to 10 years in prison, where the judge found him guilty on witness tampering and accessory after the fact charges. In exchange, the state dropped the two murder charges against him. So his trial is set to start January 6th. Oh, he cut off his dreads. Okay, let me see this.
YNW Melly, his real name is Jamil Dimmons. He's actually in plain clothes in the courtroom for the first time in months. Again, as this judge really starts the long process of seating a new jury.
He decides to flip and become a cheese eater.
Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record that it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea. I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be.
YNW Melly's court hearings have now begun. The prosecutors aren't going easy this time because the news wrote rapper YNW Melly is going through a series of court hearings for new evidence the prosecutors want to use in the next trial. Lawyers in the courtroom are worried about how he will find a defense to it all. More to come. This is because the feds want to use a Facebook post to YNW Melly with Young Thug. They're trying to claim that Melly is a part of the same Red Street team that Young Thug is.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Saturn, 5-point star, the snake. He's saying he's YSL.
Hell no, them prosecutors just as corrupt. But hell no, no, hell no. He ain't part of YSL. That's some bullshit. Let's see what else going on. So we know his co-defendant took the plea. YNW Bolton. I can't wait. January 2027. Shit, I'm thinking January 2026 next year. 2027. Oh, hold on. Hey, I'm live. Okay. Live. Y'all think YNW Bolton is going to turn state evidence against Melly? That's gonna be real interesting. I think everybody trying to figure that out. If that's what he gonna do. Okay, we doing the recap part. We just going over some things.
I would ask the court to inquire from the state if this is truly an ongoing investigation. When is it going to come
Oh,
to an end? Today, tomorrow, or in the middle of this trial? And how come you have not pursued, when you file a memorandum of law, saying that Miss Liberty must, regardless of what Mr. Dennis wants, regardless of what the defense team wants, must get off this case? I don't know how they can do this. So I'm asking Your Honor to not only compel Detective Luna, because we agreed to recess the deadline, to answer questions about her participation, but also to produce that affidavit forthwith.
you know what? He did the right thing to replace, cause he got a bad lawyer, Drew Finley. That's Dirk's lawyer. She wasn't that. No, Joe Trapacano was ASAP Rocky lawyer. Who was Drew Finley? Dang, a couple celebrities had Drew Finley. So he got some really, really good lawyers now. Yeah, he had to get rid of them because they've been investigating his legal team for the for a moment.
Well, it's just clear that they're trying to
This
kick
CD
off Raven
Nash.
Liberty. I'm I'm not convinced she's a freaking ace like that, but they are. And then you find out some more stuff. Check this out.
Decision, just like the Hill case, where we dealt with a confidential informant and an ongoing investigation. What we didn't know actually came out during the depo is that she was a training officer when Mr. and one of her associates actually didn't write a report. She didn't write any report. We actually didn't even know she was on scene until she came to the depot and informed us she was there. She didn't take any active role in it, but she was the supervisor, or she was the FTO for one of the officers. And I think at that point we listed her as an A witness because we realized she was on scene.
Man. It's a crazy day. Y'all know, longer video ahead. So sit back, enjoy the ride. I'm going to just do some cut-ins and then get to the end, and we'll get it going by that way. Let's go.
Because we don't even know the nature of the total conflict, other than an allegation that they executed a warrant on Miss Liberty's account. That's all we know. Nothing else. You did, but they did not give us all. And it's my fault that I didn't file an additional motion. They only gave us one phone mark. Two phones.
Man, they did a subpoena on his attorney phone and everything. Hold on, I need to go get my cigarettes. Hold on. Ugh. Yeah, he had to change direction. That was a smart move. Damn, I ain't got no line later. That was really a smart move on his. Yeah, he had to get rid of her. And I mean, she worked hard on his case. She did. She did.
4 accounts listed, and they only gave us 2 of them.
You ain't get the prosecution ain't turned over evidence yet to the defense.
Well, the other 2 accounts. But that's the bottom line. And I don't know how we can properly defend Mr. Dennis on the evidence of tampering with the witness, solicitation, conspiracy to tamper, when we don't know all the facts. So I would ask the court to inquire from the state, if this is truly an ongoing investigation, when is it going to come to a head?
Right.
Today, tomorrow, or in the middle of this trial? And how come you have not pursued, when you file a memorandum of law, saying that this liberty must, regardless of what Mr. Dennis wants, regardless of what the defense team wants, must get off this case?
Right.
A lot of people don't know what's alleged is that actually Raven Liberty, one of YNW Melly's lawyers, is being accused with no proof yet.
A witness
This been
tampering.
going on for a year and a half. She's been accused of conspiring with YNW Melly and YNW Borland for witness tampering and all of this stuff, but she's not been arrested. She's not been arraigned. They're just
She ain't
basically
even
trying to
been
kick her off the
charged.
case. Why that is? Y'all already know, man. I don't care how it look. And some people will say, oh, you know, you're pro-defense and all that crap. No, man. If we're going to apply law, there's a reason, way, and a how that law is supposed to be done.
Facts.
Right or wrong. So you can't be the good guys acting like the bad guys. There's nothing that has happened. So you have that lingering within the doggone atmosphere where the state has hacked into her Apple ID, Apple Library, unknowingly.
Right.
So imagine their surprise when they find out that, hey, man, somebody hacked into your Apple account and it just so happens to be the freaking state.
Without a
The
subpoena.
ones who hacked into
The
my Apple
fuck?
account. Yes, they did. Oh, what did they find? We can't tell you. All right. So, State, you guys hacked into my stuff a year ago? What's the deal? Oh, man. Look, we're still looking into it. We're still looking into it. Well, we need to know what the heck y'all looking at because y'all ain't filed no charges and y'all ain't did anything like that.
Exactly.
You guys are basically trying to get her voted off. So that's what that argument was about. Let's continue on.
I don't know how they can do this. So I'm asking Your Honor to not only compel Detective Luna, because we agreed to recess together, to answer questions about her participation, but also to produce that affidavit forthwith.
The prosecution,
That's basically a bad moment.
they ain't filed no charges on that woman. And they hacked into her phone without a subpoena, without her knowledge. They just did it. They can't do that. But the prosecution of YNW Melly is crooked as hell.
Brains of the operation.
And then won't turn over what they found and won't tell the defense what they found. So to me, they didn't find shit. This case is crazy. And they keeping that boy locked up almost 7 years in the county jail. Let that boy go home. For real, where can he escape to?
And that's September the 5th, 30.
Bro is not happy today.
I have inertial frequency though. This is a dead count. So you all decided something tackle stuff. Let's open a new case. Because done all this the day after
Oh, when Melly in court for motions and goes against the advice of his lawyers. Melly is seen snapping all day in the case. It seems Melly doesn't want any more delays himself, but his lawyers advised him to keep the stay on the case and delay the trial. The state wants to delay the trial as well. You're going to see what the judge does towards the end of this video. If this trial gets delayed, it wouldn't happen until 2027. That's what the judge says. Watch the full video.
And that is so messed up because your constitutional right is the right to a speedy trial. Did they even file? He should have filed for a speedy trial because this is some bullshit.
All right, subscribe. Let's go. All right, stream cuts on Lee. Stuart Odyssey. Seeing Melly's lawyers already talking.
This is
And
Cuff
here's,
Boys.
the
I like
representative
him.
of the state and the judge. Let's go.
Hold on. Come on, StreamYard.
I'm sorry, this guy's face right here.
Mr. Demons was rearrested for tampering with the witness, directing the activity of a criminal gang, solicitation to commit tampering, and conspiracy to commit tampering. As a result of that, supplemental discovery and presented to the court on numerous occasions that to introduce evidence of the tampering case to a certain extent for consciousness of guilt.
Yeah, we've known about that. They're trying to show. Well, he's trying to silence his girlfriend. Remember the whole coded language bullshit. He's trying to hide witnesses from the court. Blah blah blah. You get the picture.
A year transpired, and in December of 2024, the defense learned that a search warrant was executed on a member of the defense team's Apple account, Miss Liberty's, and they withheld that evidence for over a year. And I would submit to the court that had not Apple notified Miss Liberty a year later that a warrant was executed, the state probably would have concealed that point as we stand here today.
Still crazy to me. We already know all this. Everything, the entire iCloud account was taken by the state of a lawyer.
And the court
Crazy.
originally indicated that the state was to produce to the court the affidavit and the warrant. The following day, the court modified that and told the state to produce a copy of the warrant only to the court, and that the court would, in fact, do an in-camera inspection of that warrant and decide whether or not to reveal a portion of that search warrant or the total search warrant.
And they still haven't shown shit.
On the warrant, the state filed a memorandum of law regarding attorney conflict, setting forth that regardless of if Mr. Demons wants to waive any potential conflict, the court must basically throw her off the case. and they cited various case law, and I agree with the state that the court does have the inherent responsibility or authority to remove an attorney based upon the nature of the conflict. I agree with that, and it's been done in state court and it's been done in federal court, so we're in agreement with that portion of it. As we sit here today, 18 months later from the execution of this warrant, Mr. Demens does not know the full extent of the conflict, nor do the lawyers know the extent of where this conflict exists, other than they executed a warrant on Miss Liberty's Apple account.
Seems a bit unfair, right?
Right.
This guy is facing the death penalty, and we don't know if one of his lawyers is going to be arrested at any moment, and the trial's in 2 months or 3 months.
In July of 2025.
Man, that is some
They must get off this case.
Wait a
And
minute,
if they
I
really
gotta
believe
get something to drink.
They should pursue that, because that would be the first issue on appeal if he's convicted of anything.
Damn. They're like, we're already going to appeal this shit. That's the first issue right there if he's convicted. I mean, we all know if Melly is found guilty, there's going to be some appeals, right? Like, this is going to be a whole big process, bro.
And I suggest that the court should hold a hearing on that and divulge the extent and what the conflict really is.
If you're on the channel, please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. Back to the video, boys.
For over a year, the state came into court.
You
and said
talking
it's
about
ongoing
corruption.
investigation, And as a result, they are allowed to conceal that, and it doesn't come under the discovery rules to provide that information. And the court in its order, and I think paragraph 4, stated, this court does not agree that the search warrant is part of an ongoing active investigation.
So they lied. The judge is calling them out that they lied.
They lied,
As
right.
of January of this year, Miss Liberty has not been arrested, nor is she a defendant in any pending prosecution, despite the fact that the state has had this information for over a year. Well, they now have that information for over 18 months, a year and a half, and they're still alleging that it's an ongoing investigation. The interesting thing about Your Honor's order, everything was interesting, but you gave the state an opportunity to appeal Your Honor's ruling and said, I would not divulge the warrant.
And they didn't appeal it. You gave them a time frame, and I'm pretty sure they did not appeal it.
They
You have
didn't.
until February 7th, 2025, to appeal the finding of this court that this is not an ongoing investigation. They did not take an appeal. And I suggest to the court that the law in this case, as we stand here today, is that there is no ongoing investigation as it relates to anybody in the defense team.
There's first look at Melly. That boy's smiling, like always, looking over at his family.
A continuing obligation to disclose any information that would lead to relevant information. They have not disclosed the affidavit. They stand here today and say it's still an ongoing investigation.
Raven Liberty and his mom have not spoken. They're not
If
good
that
friends.
is not against that boy's rights, constitutional rights, no matter if he was found guilty, he can appeal the shit. Let that boy out.
YNW Melly appearing in court. YNW Melly continues. The rising South Florida rapper is accused of killing 2 friends back in 2018.
They was my brothers. I would never do that. Those were YNW Melly's words from a jailhouse phone call. But by the time he said them, 2 of his closest friends were already dead, shot multiple times inside a Jeep in the middle of the night. And according to Florida prosecutors, Melly didn't just witness the killings. He pulled the trigger himself. He was 19, a rising star from Gifford, Florida, small town, big dreams. Millions of views on YouTube, co-signed by Kanye, loved by fans, feared in court. And then, one night in October 2018, everything changed. 2 bodies, 1 SUV, a rapper's name suddenly tied to murder, and a question that still haunts fans in the courtroom. Did YNW Melly really kill his best friends? This is not just a case about a rapper. It's a story of loyalty, fame, and betrayal. This is the story of YNW Melly and the double murder that may end his career or his life. The YNW Melly case. Did a superstar rapper really kill his best friends? To understand what happened that night, we have to rewind. Back to a kid growing up in poverty, raised in chaos, drawn to music and violence. Melly's real name is Melry's Demons. Born in 1999 in Gifford, Florida, a place where opportunity was rare and survival was everything. His mom was just 14 when she had him.
Wow, I didn't know that.
No money, just struggle. He grew up in the projects, surrounded by crime, drugs, and broken homes. By middle school, he was already deep in it, fighting, repping, posting songs recorded on a cracked iPhone. His earliest tracks weren't just music, they were confessions, dark, melodic, violent. In Murder on My Mind, the song that made him famous, he sings, "I didn't even mean to shoot him, he just caught me by surprise." The world heard art, but the courts, they heard a confession. As the fame grew, so did the crew. He called it YNW, Young N.A. World, a brotherhood, or at least, that's how it looked. But in October 2018, that brotherhood was torn apart. Before the gold grills, before the platinum plaques, there was a boy in a small Florida town trying to survive. Jamel Demons, better known today as YNW Melly, was born on May 1st, 1999.
Oh, he a torch like me.
A place with more arrests than opportunity, where the cycle of violence runs deep and dreams rarely make it out. His mother, Jamie King, was just 14 when she gave birth, still a child herself. She raised Melly alone, working minimum wage jobs, living in public housing. They moved around a lot, never really stable. Jamel never met his real father. Melly once said, "I seen things at 9 years old that most people don't see in their whole life." By middle school, he was already caught up in fights, skipping class, repping colors. But music was his escape. Millie teaches the SoundCloud. His voice was different. Melodic but dark, violent but vulnerable. By the age of 15, he called himself YNW Melly. YNW standing for Young Noster World. And it wasn't just a crew, it was family. That's where YNW Juvie, YNW Saxhauser, and others came in. Real names, Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams. Juvie had a soft smile, a baby face, and a loyal heart. He was one of Melly's earliest supporters. They grew up together, rode bikes, hit licks, wrote raps. Juvie was like a little brother. Saxhauser, on the other hand, was older, more serious. He played more of a managerial role in the group, protected Melly, helped him focus. They weren't just his homies, they were his brothers. And when Melly started buzzing in the Florida rap scene, with songs like 772 Love and Virtual, Blue Balenciagas, they were right by his side. By 2018, he was catching fire. The breakout hit Murder on My Mind went viral. The hook, haunting. The verses, graphic. I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. More than Yearly Fire 2025, millions streamed the track. And even though the song was written long before the crime, it would later become Exhibit A in the court of public opinion. But behind the scenes, tensions were rising. Arguments over money, control, and Melly's growing fame. Some say Saxhauser was trying to take over Melly's business. Others say there were jealousy issues inside the group.
I'm sure it was.
Melly said, things started changing when the checks came in. Whatever the cause, the bond that once held the YNW crew together was now cracking, and nobody saw what was coming next.
Man, now that was a good backdrop. That was good. That explained everything. Free that boy.
The YNW Melly case is a weird one. As some of you may know, 5 years ago today, he was locked up for two of his best friends. Now, the evidence against him is astonishing. But he's gonna get away with it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, if he's gonna get away with it, then why is he still in jail? Yes, he is still in jail, by the way. Well, because YNW Melly had a problem. The police also know he's gonna get away with it, so they decided, why don't we just keep him for as long as we can? And it all started way back when YNW Melly was about 16. He didn't like some of his classmates, so he at them. The police arrest him, but it's only for a year because he's still 16. Now, why I mention this is because when you're on the police's list, it's hard to get off. He gets out on probation, which basically means a judge can send you back to jail if you do something that they don't like. He goes back to jail. YNW Melly said, why? The judge said, you rapping now, huh? He said, yup. The judge said, well, I don't like your songs. And this is where things take a turn. See, YNW Melly was making music, and he was popping off. off. Because
He
frankly, to be
was.
honest,
He
YNW
was.
Melly does have a gift for music.
He
His
does.
first few songs are already hitting charts. But this was a bad thing because, again, he caught the attention of his judge. His judge said, you talk about in your songs, I'm sending you back. Which brings back the whole debate of should rap lyrics be used in the court of law. A lot of states refuse to use rap lyrics or music in general in the court of law because it can be discriminatory. Well, it is discriminatory. Because of the neighborhoods rap music tends to come from, certain things will be rapped about. And those things, well, usually are illegal. And courts usually use the lyrics to say, this person is bad, so send them to jail. So same thing happens to YNW Melly, and if you're keeping track, this is the second time he's in jail. But this time, he has a big buzz behind him. So everyone's saying, free him, you're locking him up because of rap lyrics. The court's like, damn. So they let him go. And then they arrest him again for having on him. And like I told you before, when you're on the police's list, it's hard to get off. But
That's a fact. Let me get my book.
because at this point he has
cold
good
in here.
lawyers, he has a record label, they don't want their star to, be in jail. They want to make money. And it's at this point he's free to go. He gets out for the third time. It's time to be a star. Until the fourth time he heard it. Things are a little more serious. See, he finishes recording a song with Kanye West called Mixed Personalities. The song becomes huge. It's Kanye West. Well,
yup, he had Kanye West. Sure did.
People listening to his original song, they saying, damn, that boy snapping. YNW Melly like, yup. The police go, yup. You think you can about whatever you want now? You think you bad? YNW Melly said, like Michael Jackson. YNW Melly's lawyers slide in and go, hee hee. Now turn around and never go West.
He is
Makes a colossal mistake.
X-Universe.
It's a colossal mistake. See, I forgot to tell you something. While YNW Melly is rising, I'm just gonna call him Melly from now on. While Melly is rising, he's also rising with 3 other people in his YNW crew. All his best friends. There's Sack Chaser, there's Juvie, and there's Portland. And they make music too. But one day, Portland pulls up to the hospital and says, oh my gosh, they just 2 of my friends, Sack Chaser and Juvie. Melly's not there. The police show up and go, wait a second, ain't this the YNW crew? Where Melly at? Portland goes, I don't know. The police are like, that's a little suspicious, but tell us what happened. So according to Portland, they were driving around and suddenly some dudes start at them. Since Sack Chaser and Juvie were on the right side of the car, I need you to listen closely. They were the ones that were Melly and Portland were on the left side of the car. Now, at this point, it's the obvious question. Okay, so where is Melly? The police have the same question. So they call up Sack Chaser and Juvie's roommate. They say, yo, where's Melly? Do you know? The roommate goes, no, actually, I don't. The police go, okay, well, we found out that you were there. The roommate goes, oh, yeah! But he still says he doesn't know where Melly was because Melly got in a separate car from his friends. The police say, okay, bet. They get surveillance footage of the last time all the YNW members were together and alive, and they all walk into the same car. Melly walks in as well. In those positions, remember, Sack Chaser Juvie on the right, Melly and Portland on the left. The police look at the roommate and they go, well, he was in the same car. The roommate goes, oh, yeah! So at this point, the police were like, okay, people are lying, something's going on. And this is how police investigate usually go. The more evidence you start finding, is we're gonna arrest you. Especially
right.
Since he has pretty good lawyers.
But he breaks down that story pretty good. He getting off, even if he did it. He getting off.
The worst thing possible just happened to YNW Melly.
Now
as
this
in
is
today's court hearing.
YNW Portland, who took a plea deal. I think he got 15 years. And so it's going to be interesting if he turns state evidence on Melly. But this is Portland.
Judge began it by announcing that Melly will be tried with YNW Portland in the September trial.
Mr. Henry's going to remain set for trial. Pending whatever you're doing. I have 4 days. I know we now September. I gave the parties those 4 days, and I'm holding all those days of time open only for these 2 different. So everything is needed. Okay.
As the news wrote, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin, de Borland's attorney, said, quote, "So Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with YNW Melly. This could not be worse for Melly and Lemmy. Prosecutors
Right,
gonna
and we don't
force
have to
Borland
go
to
into that
snitch."
because that did not happen. Because I'm waiting to see if
Filed in
he
the
is gonna
YNW Melly
snitch.
trial, the order makes Melly and Borland.
Is the boy gonna tell? That's the $1,000,000 question.
No one could have predicted how wild the courtroom would get when Inai Melly finally faced Inai Borland. But what happened next left the entire hip-hop world reeling. Just minutes into the session, the judge called for Borland to take the stand in. That's when all hell broke loose. As Borland started dropping shocking claims, Melly's whole energy changed. He went from calm and collected to absolutely freaking out, jaw clenched, fists tight, and eyes darting across the room. Fans are shocked. The family was left divided. And emotions ran high as Borland began laying out story after story. Even the courtroom staff looked like they'd never seen anything like it before. Whippers through the crowd, reporters scribbling down every explosive detail, while Melly's crew in the back row struggled to keep their composure. Outside, cameras flashed and social media exploded, everyone scrambling for the real tea. Was Borland really snitching, or just trying to save himself? Would Melly hold it together, or would he snap under the pressure? The tension was so thick, you could feel it through the walls, and every new revelation made the stakes even higher. By the time Borland finished, everyone in the building knew this wasn't just another case. It was the kind of drama that would split friends, families, and fans for years to come. Buckle up, because Inui Melly freaking out on Inui Borland snitching in court is just the start of a story you won't believe. The scene in the courthouse was pure chaos, and nobody could look away. It was supposed to be another tense day, but nothing out of the ordinary till flinched, looking down at his hands. The prosecutor pressed on, digging deeper. Were you scared of Inui Melly? Orla nodded. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to see that. He said he was scared of Melly?
I didn't know what he was capable of anymore. Words hung in the air, and you could almost see Melly's heart break in real time. The court took a break, but nobody relaxed. Melly stormed out into the hallway, barely holding it together. He shoved past the cameras, refusing to answer questions, his crew trailing behind, looking defeated. Inside the
I don't
restaurant,
remember this in the trial that Borland said he was scared of Melly. Do y'all?
You know who's real? But Melly's face was tight with anger and hurt. Nah, man, I trusted him. His world was spinning too. After being hustled out of court under tight security, he was kept in protective custody, away from anyone who might want payback. Borland's sister, Liv, sat at home, her phone blowing up with hate messages and threats. She posted a video, her eyes red and puffy. Y'all don't know what my brother's going through. This isn't easy. Everybody's judging, but nobody knows the whole story. Fans are shocked how quickly the internet turns on their own as news outlets pushed out clip after clip. The story kept growing, twisting, and picking up speed. Bloggers dissected every word from Borland's testimony. Some claiming he was coerced, others arguing he was finally telling the truth. Instagram pages posted side-by-side photos of Melly and Borland from back in the day, throwback images of the two as brothers, now turned enemies in the eyes of the world. Emotions ran high as old friends unfollowed each other. Artists who used to collaborate suddenly dropping statements about loyalty and realness. The family was left, divided in ways nobody expected. Back in the hotel room, Melly's crew huddled together, talking strategy in hushed voices.
So they saying that he did turn snitch.
Scrolling through the endless notifications on his...
I'm trying to go in chronological order.
Von's death, chaos hit the street. O-Block wasn't mourning. They were mobilizing, ready to move, and talking revenge heavy. NBA Youngboys camp didn't flinch. They moved like nothing happened. Untouchable, like they wanted smoke. That's when 50 Cent stepped in heavy. He flew into Chicago low-key and made a few quiet calls down to Baton Rouge. People close said he warned this war could kill the money, the music, everything. But Lil Durk didn't care. Ain't no forgiveness where I'm from, he told someone close. Then, straight from prison, YNW Melly got involved. He called and told them, tell 50 to leave it alone. Von's still with us. That changed the energy. The silence broke. NLE Choppa, who hadn't said a word since it happened, finally picked a side. I'm with Von. I'm with Durk. After that, even 50 had to back off. This wasn't clout. This wasn't rap. This was real. And when it gets real in the streets, ain't no pause button. Now the streets are on edge. Like and follow. War's coming. Like and follow for more true stories from the shadow. After Von's death, chaos hit the street. O-Block wasn't mourning. They were mobile.
Let's see. And this was some bullshit to
After
do this
Von,
2 years.
Been delayed until January of 2027.
This
nearly
tough
8
boys.
years after first being arrested in 2019. The decision coming from the 4th District Court of Appeals. This is actually insane. Judge Fine has been trying his hardest not to let this happen and keep the trial in September 2025, but the decision wasn't made by him. Although there is a chance that this doesn't happen. And I'll explain towards the last half of this video. Hit subscribe, let's go. This all goes back to the defense motion to suppress right here in September of 2023. Yes, 2 years ago. I'm sure you guys don't remember, this trial was actually supposed to start in October of 2023 after the mistrial. Remember the mistrial was in like July of 2023?
Right.
The state filed an appeal. I'm going to explain the appeal, because that's what's causing all this. So Melly's defense team is trying to suppress this evidence and get rid of it. Motion to suppress number 1 was motion to suppress evidence, search warrant requiring disclosure by the provider of an electronic communication service or the contents of
We don't have to go through that because, like I said, is that he won that they're allowing, the appeals court is allowing the defense to suppress the evidence. So that's a good thing. That's a major win for him in this case.
After Von's death, chaos hit the street. O-Block wasn't mourning. They were mobilizing, ready to move, and talking revenge heavy. NBA Youngboys camp. After Von's death, chaos hit the street.
Worse.
Wait a minute.
And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. Once I show y'all what I show y'all, you're gonna 100% agree with me, even if you're thinking like, nah, there's no way. From what actually happened in court today to what happened before, that was already gonna show y'all these walls came crashing in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell y'all what happened today, and then I'll show y'all how we get to where we get to. No. Wait. Let's go. So, what happened today? All right, Florida's 4th District Court of Appeal granted a stay in Melly's case that blocks the September 2025 retrial and bumps the control date to January 2027, while the appeals court reviews a motion filed by the Broward State Attorney's Office. Basically, they went full Karen. You know what I mean? So, in July, last month, the trial judge refused to delay and kept the jury selection for September 10, 2025, despite the state asking for more time while the side appellate review of prior rulings from the first trial. They were going back and trying to see, oh, can we get away with this? Can we get away with that? Can you keep this? And can you keep that? And the judge like, bro, we on a strict timeline. So then the state basically said, all right, well, then we're going to.
And they should have had their stuff together. Then here we go with the plea deal.
After Von's death, chaos hit the street. O-Block wasn't mourning. They were mobilizing, ready to move, and talking revenge heavy. NBA Youngboys camp didn't flinch. They moved like nothing happened. Untouchable, like they wanted smoke.
Knowing that, hey, that's YNW Portland. He's coming in. His case read and everything like that. So it is what it is. Stick to the very end. Like, I gotta win one of these right here. This PlayStation, this Xbox for free. But let's get on with it.
Quick conversation with Mr. Henry. I'm gonna put him on the road. talk to him about the charges, make sure he understands the maximum possible penalties, make sure he understands the state offer.
I think that's something else the defense wants to check on.
Well, I'm going to put it on the record right now, but he doesn't have to tell me what his answer is now, but I just want to make sure he has all the info. And, you know, I'm going to tell Mr. Henry this as well, but for his benefit now, if he wants to resolve the cases by way of a negotiated plea, that's fine with me. And if he doesn't want to, that's fine with me too. But, all right, so Mr. Henry, listen, I'm going to put you under oath and ask you some questions, okay? It's only going to be as it relates to the state's offer, and it's only as to make sure that you understand the state's offer and you understand the charges that you're facing here. We're not going to talk about anything else. So just listen to my questions and answer the questions, okay? Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you? How far did you go in school? Do you read and understand the English language? Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol? Have you ever been treated for a mental illness? Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now? Right. How are you feeling this morning? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on? All right, so Mr. Henry, listen.
Now, this is like basically letting somebody smell the freaking aroma before you open the pot and show them exactly what's in. So you can smell it with the senses, because the judge is about to hit this boy with the charges and let him know, like, these are the penalties. I don't have any choice, because there's a belief system that some people have, and they'll say, and they'll come back home and they'll be like, yo, bro, the judge just didn't like me. The judge just didn't like me, you know, and whatever, and all that stuff. So that's why the judge is doing that. So he just know, bro, hey, I ain't gotta say so in the matter. You can't charm me. You can't say something. Can't write a letter or anything like that, bro. I got nothing to do with this. The state of...
Again, as it's charged, that is also a life penalty. The maximum penalty is life in Florida State Prison. And lastly, count 7 is unlawful use of a two-way communication device. As that's charged, the second-degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State Prison. So right now, as to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. It's life in Florida State Prison, followed by life in Florida State Prison, followed by life in Florida State Prison,
Damn.
followed by life in Florida State Prison, followed by life in Florida State Prison, followed by 75 years in Florida State Prison.
Damn, 4 licenses plus 75 years. I would have took that plea deal too.
So, Mr. Henry, the state is telling me that they're extending an offer to you, and the offer is as follows. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, they're going to null process or drop counts 1 and 2, both first-degree murder charges. Okay? And in exchange for that, as to counts 3 and 4, in that case, the accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, you're going to plead no contest to both of those. And as to the 4 counts in case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 of those counts. And in exchange for all of that, the state is offering that I would adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to the bottom of your sentencing guidelines, which is 195.45 months, about 16, it's a shade over 16 years and 3 months. 16 years and 3 months. All of those sentences will run concurrently, that is at the same time with each other. I would give you credit for all the time that you have served, understanding that you have a lot less credit time on the 23 case because it's a newer case. So that is what would be controlling. Whatever credit time you have on the 23 case, you can subtract that from the 100 and...
He actually has more time on the 23
Oh, okay. Well, whichever case you have more time, less time in custody, that's what would happen. And you get the credit for all the time that you served. And again, that sentence would be 16 years, a shade over 16 years, 3 months in Florida State Prison. I would have to order restitution. The state would tell me the amount of that restitution. That restitution would be joint and several with any of the other co-defendants if any of the other co-defendants were convicted at trial or entered pleas. In other words, the restitution only has to be paid once, but each person is responsible for 100%. All right, but as soon as it's paid, it's paid. I would have to impose mandatory court costs in each case, and I would have to impose a mandatory cost of prosecution in each case, which is $100. So, Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? Okay, the 16 years, 3 months, and shade 4. So I'm going to pause on it at this point, Mr. Henry. It's going to give you some time, whether that be tonight or also over the weekend, to talk to your lawyers about it. Make sure they answer all your questions.
Man, I would have took that plea deal facing 4 life sentences.
I can't make the state make you an offer, and I can't make you accept it.
Florida don't pay. Now this messed me up. The trial star witness they put in the same cell, how they put informants in the same cell with you so you could talk about the case.
That's when 50 Cent stepped in heavy. He flew into Chicago low-key and made a few quiet calls down to Baton Rouge. People close said he warned After Vaughn's death,
I'm
chaos
so
hit
sick
the
of
street.
this coming
O'Block
up.
wasn't
How do I
mourning.
get
They
this
were
out of
mobilizing,
here?
ready to move, and talking revenge
Wait a
heavy.
minute.
NBA Youngboys camp didn't flinch. They moved like nothing happened, untouchable, like they...
Let's get on my nerves.
After Vaughn's death, chaos hit the street. O'Block wasn't mourning. They were mobilizing, ready to move, and talking revenge heavy. NBA Youngboys camp didn't flinch. They moved like nothing happened, untouchable, like they wanted smoke. That's when 50
Damn,
Cent
that shit
stepped in
keep
heavy.
coming
He
up.
flew into Chicago low-key and made a few quiet calls down to Baton Rouge. People close said he won.
Damn, I deleted that
After
shit.
Vaughn's death, chaos hit the street. O'Block wasn't mourning. They were mobilizing, ready to move, and talking revenge
I'm
heavy.
so sick
NBA
of this.
Youngboys camp didn't flinch. They moved like nothing happened, untouchable, like they wanted smoke. That's when...
Okay, I think I got rid of the damn thing.
So
I did.
YW
This city
Melly's
now.
girlfriend got moved over to the main jail, which is crazy because all 4 people who are quote unquote involved with this witness tampering are all in the same jail.
Right.
So there's that, but it gets even more interesting when you hear this. Provided with clarity and update on YW Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, per her attorney, Chris Varys. There will be no charges against Mariah Hamilton. A bench warrant was never issued for Hamilton's absence in the first trial, and she has not been hiding. Mariah and her
That's
mother,
it. That's
Felicia
Melly's
Holmes, were to be
ex-girlfriend.
deposed, but no one could serve them. The state filed a rule to show cause, which is typical to do anytime you can't get witness. Her attorney, Ramon Sarmiento, appealed because they never served Hamilton or Holmes. Rather, they posted a subpoena at the house of Mariah's father, a house where neither Felicia nor Mariah lived. Mariah's out-of-country warrant is based on ASA Kristen Bradley's filed motion for rules to show cause with the 4th District Court during COVID-19 pandemic. The motion was granted. The show of cause motion is for the need of Hamilton to be deposed for the YW Melly's capital murder case. The warrant she is being held on has nothing to do with the witness tampering. While named in the documents, Mariah Hamilton is not a suspect in the witness tampering case. She is the witness they allege is being tampered with. Hamilton's attorney told her
And they finally
she
let
wouldn't
her
have an
out,
issue
which
leaving
was
the country
good.
with an active warrant.
And she was out the country for like 2-3 years. She didn't come back to the States.
Now, why is it that in Melly's official documentary, whoever edited this put that Melly was in that car when they got shot? His friend testifies that no, Melly wasn't in that car. He switched cars. Who's lying here? Although YNW Borland's plea deal won't affect YNW Melly's criminal trial, it could pull him deeper into the $50 million civil lawsuit filed by the victims' families. Even if Borland avoids the witness stand in criminal court, he will most likely have to testify in the civil case. A lawyer representing the victims' families, John Phillips, is requesting an immediate deposition, saying he fears for Borland's safety. While filming this video, I also noticed a big red flag. At the end of this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Hit subscribe, let's go. This lawyer, John Phillips, does not hold back on Twitter. He is constantly tweeting
This is
about
Cuff
how Melly
Boys.
guilty, and he's not playing games because he's coming for that Borland deposition. So here he says, as predicted, YNW Borland took the plea deal. He also agreed to a proffer, which means he's talking. Remember, Borland's lawyers say he's not talking, so the sentence is to accessory after the fact, and he will do 10 years plus 6 on probation minus any credit and gain time. We've already requested the deposition in the civil case. And this is the email he's talking about to Borland's lawyers. We request his deposition as soon as possible given the circumstances. We're concerned for his safety, so I'd like to facilitate in the next 30 days. Please advise if you will continue to represent all these diverse, conflicting defendants. Now John Phillips is responding to Borland's lawyer that comes out and says he's not snitching, not cooperating, won't help Melly's trial whatsoever, no cooperation with Broward County, everyone's wrong, right? Look what he says here. This is a very simp and spin way to look at this. What does that even mean? Simp and spin? Am I missing something? The lawyers have to say it to keep him safe, and his lawyer's fees paid despite obvious conflict. However, look at it this way. Borland has agreed to give a statement as a condition of the plea. 2, he's got years to sit in prison, so he's easy to transport and cannot hide like other witnesses. John Phillips has also tweeted a lot about how People are hiding from depositions in this case. Apparently, Melly's mom took like years to get a deposition out of her, and then she pled the fifth. I made a video on that in the past. 3, he can be subpoenaed to testify and will be in the civil case, so to say he won't talk is simply wrong. 4, he's now a convicted felon, and double jeopardy has attached to he doesn't have the Fifth Amendment to hide him. And 5, he and Adrian Davis are the only ones left to maintain Melly change cars, and Davis is now hiding from everyone. We didn't know that detail. Here's Adrian Davis at the end of the Melly trial in 2023. He was a defense witness. I don't know what was happening with my hair, bro. I was grinding, waking up. Don't talk to me about it. I think I probably just woke up at this clip.
At any time during school, did any of you have any problems with each other?
No, not at all.
Would you label yourself good friends, associates, close friends, or what?
Good friends, close friends, best friends. Me, Jacoby, Melly, Sack, Julie,
Julie was Christopher Thomas.
yes, Tate,
You all get along together?
yes,
Were there ever any arguments, fights amongst you guys?
no,
And is that where you met Dontavius Withers?
yes. Just chilling at the house, and smoking and drinking.
Who were you smoking and drinking with?
Jacoby, Tate, everybody who get out.
You go in the same car, or were there two
We
cars?
took 2 cars, a Jeep and Mitsubishi.
Did anyone fall asleep in the studio?
Yes. We all did.
Any arguments occur between any of you at the studio?
No, not at all.
Did there come a time that you all left the studio?
Yes.
Did you leave the studio earlier than what was scheduled?
Yeah, I believe so. We all in our sleep.
Tell the jury who got into the red Mitsubishi.
Me, Jacoby, Trayvon, and Tate.
Do you know who got into the Jeep?
Cortland, Jamel, Sack, and Julie.
Cortland, Jamel, Sack, and Juvie. And this is where the twist happened in this trial. Listen to what he says next here.
Where were you going? Did anyone fall asleep in your car?
We by all did except for the driver.
You were woken up before you got to the house.
Yes. We pulled over, and that's when Melly got in the car with us.
Do you know where you pulled over?
I don't really remember.
Were you woken up?
Yeah, because I was getting pushed over a little bit.
And are you 100% sure that this young man got into the red Mitsubishi?
Yeah, I think they just kept going.
Has the keys to Melly's house on October 26th in the early morning hours?
Jamel and Portland, they only one who had keys to the house.
Did Williams have a key to the house?
No.
Did Christopher Thomas have a key to the house?
No.
So the only 2 people you know who had a key to the house was this young man
Yes.
and Cortland Henry.
Yes.
Did you see this young man unlock the door of the house?
Yes.
Did you see where Melly went?
To his room.
And where was his bedroom?
When we first walked in the house, came message right down the left.
DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action.
Man,
Like thousands of popular.
I'm about to go to the end of this video.
What do you identify as Mel's house?
Correct. I don't really remember.
You don't really remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you used your phone to call and try to find it, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember how we were trying to find his phone?
It just said,
The whole Melly documentary is part of the appeal situation. That's why the trial's delayed. Remember, it's a whole documentary.
Right,
about
because of the
his life and
appeal.
everything.
Free that boy while y'all go to trial. He about to get off. I believe the boy getting off. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm about to come back with 2 quick ones because I'm sleepy.